Hi, and welcome to this week's Full Body Chills. I'm FEARSONA. You can call me Sona, you can call me Fear or Red, and I'm your friendly neighborhood true crime VTuber, here to give you full body chills again. And no, I am not dead after yesterday's, supposedly my last stream. I survived so much. So far, it's day 1. We'll see in 7 days. I faced Sadako, I played as Sadako, and we shall see what happens. Also, mind you, I did check out the channel of Sadako. Someone shared it here yesterday, and I was just like, okay, I'm gonna check it out. It's so flippin' cute. Oh my lord. I watched a video where she's just like traveling through, I guess, the city in Japan. I think I've recovered from my childhood trauma. Thank you very much. I rest my case. That's it. Goodbye. I'm kidding. Okay. Hi Rose. Hi. Thank you so much for joining today. Wifey. Okay, nice. Guys, you gotta check out Rose's Twitch channel. She's also a VTuber. She's super nice. She's my wifey, and yeah, we hang out. We play games together. We play D&D together. So you guys should check her out too. In the meantime, wait. Whoa, Sona lives. Yeah, I'm alive still. So far. We'll see how it is. Wait, let me just turn this on. Yeah. Yeah, so today I've got 2 stories for you, and you will get to guess whether the stories are true or fake. Those are scary stories. Both of them are quite long, so buckle up because it's gonna be a long sitting. Support my wifey. Nice. Dragon of Akina, I am sick and I had a crummy day. Aw, I'm sorry to hear that. I hope you feel better soon. And I just saw Tyrant's first message in the live chat, and it was just like, bots, it's piss off. Please piss off. It's 4 a.m. It's not even like being pissed at the bots. It's like, it's a state of mind. It's Tyrant's state of mind. It's pure tyrantness. Okay, and the amount, okay, hopeful, oh, nice, I can see some of my patrons, so Space, Pitako, the amount of cute and wholesome Sadako fan art I've seen is honestly pretty surprising. I know, right? Like, I've seen so much, like, cute fan art of, Sadako, and I'm like, yeah, I mean, this cute, but she's still scary, she's still my childhood nightmare. But after seeing her channel, I kind of recovered a little bit. Tyrant, I agree. Bots piss off, yeah. This morning, I'm excited for 2 stories, yeah. Those are quite, yeah, they're quite spooky. One of them was sent in by one of you guys, by one of my viewers, so yeah, you can, you can guess which one. Okay, after a long day yesterday, I instantly fell asleep and missed Sona Pop's stream. Aw. Well, I mean, it was a gaming stream. I survived. You can definitely rewatch it. It was quite a lot of fun. Also gave some people a mini heart attack because I titled my stream, "This may be my last stream," and everyone just the chat started freaking out. They were like, "What? No, don't say the G word. Don't say the G word." I'm like, "No, I'm not. It's okay." But I started the stream by saying basically like, oh, I had to make some very difficult decisions. It was hard. I've enjoyed my channel, but some decisions had to be made. And then everyone just like goes like, what? Wait, I'm not ready for this. No, don't worry. I am here to stay. I'm not going anywhere. Unless I'm like, I don't know, I get my period and I'm knocked out because it's fucking painful. TMI. Rai says 10k coming up, Sona. Oh god, I don't want to panic. I am sweating profusely. I'm sweating more than Prince Andrew during a certain event. Certain interview. Honestly, I watched, okay, that's off topic, but I just watched the first episode of the Jeffrey Epstein documentary, and there was a cut, kind of like a scene from like one cut from the interview with Prince Andrew, and holy fuck, this guy bullshitting his way towards the end and has an answer to anything. It's just like, wow. 18 years ago, something happened 18 years ago. He did not remember. He's like, oh, I can't recall. I don't remember meeting this person. And yet He remembered not sweating that day. And he also remembered not even being there because he was at Pizza Express. And I'm like, oh, really? You don't say. Oh, man. Oh, yeah, that frustrated me. Also, I really recommend the true crime docuseries called Worst Roommate Ever. You guys should watch it. It's pretty shocking. It's pretty, like, it really like keeps you, I don't know, like not entertained, keeps you addicted, keeps you wanting, like, you know, I don't know, like it makes you feel like you want to keep watching and you want to know more because every episode is like a different case and it's pretty insane. Sona, you are not allowed to graduate. I guess I am a hostage. Now I am a hostage. I can't even graduate. Thanks. Hey, Jeffrey Epstein, what you did wasn't very poggers. No, it was not. And it was like even crazier than I thought because I knew about this case, but I never really like read about it. So I figured, okay, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna give a shot, you know, give the documentary a shot. And then I did. And I'm like, after the first episode, I'm like, oh my god. Oh my god. Like, for one, gross, disgusting. Ew, ew, ew. For two, Prince Andrew, go fuck yourself. Seriously. Oh man. Okay. I'm gonna talk about it at the end. We can chat a little bit more at the end. In the meantime, tomorrow I'm just gonna give you a brief on what's gonna happen this week. Tomorrow I have a collab stream with Rose and with another VTuber called Wheatbread. We're gonna play Phasmophobia. I am gonna die. I'm gonna walk into that house being all, no, ghosts are not real. Come at me, bring it on, demon. Kill me, smash me against the wall, whatever. And then I'll be like, oh shit, oh no. I'll be the first one to run away. And I'm probably gonna be the first one to die in the game. So, I mean, no surprises there. Okay, hey Sona, should I start a Patreon for early access to my novel when it's complete? I mean, if you want to, yeah, sure, why not? I think, you know, if you believe in your work, first and foremost, you have to believe in your work, and you have to want to share it with people, and you have to be ready, you know, to share more. And yeah, go ahead. Hey, you're passionate about something, you want to share it, go ahead. Okay, so without further ado, oh no, wait, briefing. Okay, so tomorrow I have a collab, Phasmophobia. Then on Saturday, there's gonna be a bonus true crime stream as always. And this week, I gave a hint on my Twitter, but it is a, what do I say? Like, how do I explain it without giving it away? Well, I mean, I posted a GIF and that was a hint, and the GIF was Hello Kitty. So, you can only guess. I am looking into it right now. I'm prepping. So that's gonna be on Patreon. And if you want to have, you know, get access to additional true crime streams, hang out a little bit more with me, and also get some Fearverse welcome package, which, you know, contains some dope items like my official sticker and Polaroid, both of which were drawn by me. So by yours truly. Yeah, this special offer ends on March 31st. And after that, the stickers and Polaroids are not gonna be available for a long time. So yeah, just go ahead. You know, if you want to support my channel, if you want to toss a coin at your true crime VTuber, oh value of plenty, go ahead and support my channel on Patreon. You will get access to a whole bunch of streams, a whole library of the entire library of streams that I've already done, and each one is a true crime stream, which, you know, like, yeah, you can, obviously it's fun to watch it live, but I would say those are also okay to watch or listen to as a podcast. So definitely nothing to lose. If you haven't, you know, if you couldn't catch it live, you can definitely watch it, like rewatch it. It's gonna be fun. Like, you know, it's gonna be a shocking case. Usually I have something that's pretty mind-boggling. So yeah, you get access to a whole library, and then you get access to weekly bonus true crime streams. Whew, okay, And then on Sunday, I will have a true crime stream here on YouTube. And this week, we are covering a case from Illinois. Not Illinois. Why am I thinking about Illinois all the time? Louisiana. This week, it's Louisiana. And it's gonna be the Axeman of New Orleans. And that's one of my favorite cases. I was fucking excited. I've been waiting for this case. I want to talk about it. Let's go. Okay. Whew. And Desert Lightning, hi, hello. Thank you so much again for to all of you for joining today's stream, for tuning in. Let's do this. Let me switch to the Full Body Chills office. Okay, actually, let me... Oh, okay. So, let's start with the first story. Before I start this story, I want to admit I was skeptical of the paranormal for most of my life. Once I got out of that little kid phase of being scared of everything that went bump in the night, I started to take a more rational approach to the phenomena that took place in my life. However, after this incident in the story that I will tell you, I can't help but think what is really lurking in the dark as we sleep at night. The story starts off during fall in 2021. I had a plan to go to Chernobyl for part of my vacation to Eastern Europe in the summer. I have been obsessed with that place ever since I played the Stalker games, and wanted to see the abandoned city myself. I have a Russian friend and a Russian/Ukrainian friend, and told them about my planned trip. They were interested and asked if they can tag along too, since they also played the Stalker games. They also haven't been to their home countries in a long time, and part of my plan was to go to Poland, my homeland, and they wanted to go there too. Sorry. We all lived in different parts of the United States. Vladimir was my Russian-Ukrainian friend who lived in the West Coast. I lived in the Midwest, and Alexander, my Russian friend, lived in the East Coast. After months of planning, we decided for me and Vladimir to take a plane ride separately to the East Coast, where Alex was. And then from there, we would all take a plane ride to Poland as our first destination. Then from there, rent a car and drive to Ukraine, Belarus, and then Russia. Summer finally came, and I flew to Alex and met with Vladimir shortly after. We made it to Poland. We went to the Małopolska voivodeship, where my family lived, visited some restaurants, tourist attractions, and took in the beauty of Poland. I can attest. That's not part of the story. After a week in Poland, we drove to Ukraine. We had 3 days to spend in Kiev before going to Chernobyl. We managed to book a private tour where it would just be the 3 of us and a tour guide. Sorry, I can't pronounce it. We spent those 3 days enjoying ourselves and preparing for the tour. Vladimir bought a monolith uniform and remembered the prayer that monolith soldiers would chant sometimes when they aren't busy absolutely destroying you in the game. He thought it would be funny to wear it during the tour, and we could take pictures. The day finally came, and we met our tour guide in Kiev. He informed us that the radiation level in Chernobyl has gone down over the years, so it is safe to walk around and spend our 7-hour tour inside it. He did inform us that some areas were still dangerously high with radiation, but as long as we stick with him, We will be fine. We got in his car and drove about 57 miles to the exclusion zone. Before we started the tour, our guide wanted to go over the safety guidelines again. After the brief rundown, we began the journey through Chernobyl, and I was speechless. It was so unnerving and fascinating at the same time to be there. You feel as if you're witnessing the end of the world. We entered some apartment complexes, saw the exact moments as the people of Pripyat, I never know how to pronounce it, but Pripyat. So we saw the exact moments as the people of Pripyat were evacuated and left their lives behind. It was surreal. However, during one trip to an apartment complex, I wandered from the group to take a look inside a particular apartment. I don't know why I was so drawn to it, but it felt as if something was telling me to take a look inside. It was nothing special, really. Looked just like the other apartments. It was frozen in time. But I couldn't shake off this feeling as if something was there with me. I dismissed it, as the whole area was pretty creepy, as I said before. Alex found me and told me that they were leaving and continuing to the tour. I followed him outside, but that unsettling energy was still with me after I exited the building. We went on with our tour, took some photos, and made our way back. We passed the one apartment complex where I stayed in that one room, and I could have sworn I saw something standing by the window of the room I said I took pictures in. And I took a glance up at it. I had to do a double take, but it was gone. The tour guide asked if I was alright, and I told him that I saw something by the window. He told me that it was probably a curtain moving and to not get spooked by it. We made it back to Kiev, thanked the tour guide for his time with us, and made it back to our hotel room. We were all tired from the day and decided to order some food from the hotel. As we ate, we went over the photos we took so we can share with our family and post to our social media. I was scrolling through my pictures when I stumbled upon one that caught me off guard and almost made me spit out my soda. In the picture I took of the apartment I was in, I saw a shadowy figure standing in a doorway leading to one of the bedrooms. The apartment was small, the usual for any Soviet-style apartment, so I should have remembered if I saw something in the doorway. The strange part is that there was nothing as I took the photo. I was trying to get some aesthetic picture, not some creepy shadow I found. I showed it to Vladimir and Alex, and they had no idea what to make of it. Vladimir said it could have been some glitch in the camera, or even my own shadow. I would have recognized it if it was my own shadow, and probably wouldn't have taken it if I saw it in the frame. We dismissed it as a glitch, and I posted the pictures to my Instagram. We called it a night and got in bed. We had 2 beds in our hotel room, so Alex had to go on the couch while me and Vladimir got the beds. 3 hours went by since I fell asleep and I suddenly woke up. I don't usually wake up in the middle of the night, and when I do, it's just because it's too hot and I need a drink or because I need to go use the bathroom. But the temperature was just right, and I didn't really need to use the bathroom, so I was pretty confused as to why I had just woken up so suddenly. I took a sip of water I had on the side of my bed, and lied back down on the bed. Before I closed my eyes, I heard faint footsteps coming from the bathroom. It couldn't have been Vladimir because he has a distinct snoring that he has while he sleeps, so I thought it was Alex. The door to the bathroom then slowly opens up, and I heard the footsteps leave the bathroom and make its way to where we were. It made its way to the front of my bed, where it just stopped, and I could vaguely see a figure in the darkness. I asked Alex if he had forgotten to flush. I received no response. The figure just stood at the foot of my bed, and it felt as if I was being watched. At that point, I was feeling uneasy and a little annoyed, so I asked if Alex had forgotten to flush again. After a brief moment of silence, the figure bent over and appeared as if it was trying to reach for me. My heart started to race, and I wasn't sure if it was Alex just trying to mess with me. Either way, I cursed loudly and jumped up to turn on the lamp. That caused Vladimir and Alex to jump up awake and ask me what was going on. My heart sank when I saw Alex sitting up on the couch. I asked him if he just tried to grab me after coming out of the bathroom. Alex looked at me with a confused look and told me he was sleeping the whole time. Vlad said I probably had a bad dream and that it was nothing. We went back to bed, but I had a rough sleep that night. The next day, we spent the day in the hotel room. We didn't plan much for the day and prepared for our next stay at Belarus. After about 7 p.m., Alex suggested to go to a restaurant, but I refused since I really wasn't that hungry. But I encouraged them to go on their own if they wanted to. They agreed and promised to bring me back something for tomorrow. All I did was spend the time watching some Ukrainian game show. After about 30 minutes since they left, I started to hear knocking on the door. I was confused since I didn't order any room service, but got up to see who it was anyway. I peeked through the peephole on the door, but no one was there. I opened the door, but didn't find anyone who may have knocked. I pushed that aside and just went back to the show. The knocking happened again after I sat down, and I thought it could just be some little kid trying to prank me. I opened the door again and found no one there again. I was feeling uneasy and just closed the door again. This time, I just stood there, waiting for the knock. As I did though, I heard something fall behind me. I looked back to find the remote on the bed. I looked back to find that the remote on the bed had been thrown to the other side of the room. I remember just standing there and just staring straight at the remote. I didn't move for about a minute before I began walking over to pick up the remote. Just as I did, the lamp on the bedside table went out. I froze in my steps and just listened carefully. I felt something in the corner of the room and I turned to look over. I saw that same figure from last night, just standing there. This time, however, I remember vividly seeing a pair of wide eyes staring back at me. I just stood there, looking at the shadowy figure before it started moving towards me. There were footsteps, but it didn't look like it was walking, just gliding. I immediately ran for the door, and I heard the footsteps turn into a full sprint after me. I made it out of the room and shut the door behind me as as fast as I could. I made my way to the lobby and sat at a chair, waiting for Alex and Vladimir to come back. They eventually did and were surprised to see me at the lobby. I told them of what I saw in the room and immediately thought it was just some robber. They ran to our room and I followed them, begging them not to open it. As they did, we saw that the lights were back on, the TV was playing that same game show, and nothing appeared to be in the room. They asked me if I was feeling sick, and I just began to hysterically yell at them, saying that there was something in the room and it chased me. They were concerned after seeing how serious I was and offered to take me to a church the first thing in the morning. I'm sorry. The power of Christ compels you. No, okay, I shouldn't be laughing. Okay, so, you know, they offered to take me to a church the next thing in the morning. The first thing in the morning. We didn't sleep at all that night. I think they were feeling something too, after I told them of my experience and of what happened the night before. In the morning, we packed up and stopped at a Catholic church in Kiev. I told the priest of my experience and he decided to bless me and say a prayer to protect me. After that, we left for Belarus. The whole trip went according to plan. We stayed a week in Belarus, a week in Russia, then headed back to Poland so we can fly back to the US. I never experienced that again, but the whole paranormal talk on Discord, but my whole paranormal skepticism was definitely shaken after that. My friends still bring it up sometimes whenever we talk on Discord and say I met with a spirit who lost their life during the Chernobyl disaster and found their way back to the apartment where they were evacuated from, never to come back again. Whenever I look through the photos of our trip, I always stop at that one photo of the shadow figure standing in the doorway. I don't know why I haven't deleted it yet, but sometimes I feel as if it is still following me and watching me as I sleep. Okay, so this is the end of this story. I'm sorry, I love the part where it was just like, yeah, the first thing to do, let's go to the church. Let me just move my book a little bit. So what do you guys think? Is this story true or fake? I mean, there are pretty spooky stuff in Chernobyl. Poland is full of demons. Well, I mean, it's definitely, it has some witches. It has some folklore. I actually come from a region that is famous for witches. So my region is it's pretty famous for witches. Poland sounds nice. Okay, so this is in Ukraine because this is Chernobyl. But yeah, like, you know. Well, I mean, this is, yeah, like that's close to Kiev, right? Chernobyl. Pripyat. So what do you guys think? Is it a true or a fake story? You can guess now. Real or fake? Tyrant posting a poll. RB says real. If it's Chernobyl, I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, I mean, there are some spooky stories from Chernobyl, definitely. True. Sona, are you a witch? I cannot confirm nor deny. Fake. Okay, Rai says fake. Rose says, this gotta be real. Demon Taker says real. Man, okay, opinions are divided. Kirito says fake. Nice, nice. Opinions are divided, but I can tell you that... Wait, the guy took pictures, right? I think I can say with confidence, pics or it didn't happen. Scholastica, fair enough. Demon Taker, real, I mean... As a ghost hunter, it sounds real. And then Pitako says, there's a belief that shadow people are echoes of people from displaced spaces and times. I mean, yeah, that's one of the stories. definitely. Esau says fake, sorry. And Dog says, if Jesus couldn't fix it, it has to be fake. And I guess you would be right, because this story is a fake story. It's a story titled, I Found Something at Chernobyl and It Followed Me. And it was sent in by one of my viewers, wait, is it Balaclava Pollock? So that was, wait, let me just, where's the story one? Yeah, so this was sent in by one of my viewers. It's a made-up story, but it was an interesting one. I like those kind of stories because, like, you know that there are already stories, a lot of stories from Chernobyl, and like people seeing things, you know, definitely shadow figures, some monsters, something like that. And you know, I already, like, I really like those kind of stories because it's like, it sounds very, very real. And it sounds like, hey, it could be something that people saw, you know, like people definitely saw, I don't know, mutated animals back in the day, and then they just thought, okay, this is a monster or something. Or maybe not, just mutated animals after the disaster. I missed the story, so I'm just going to imagine dogs followed them. I love your username, by the way. I need sleep. Like we all do. Everyone does. A very friendly dog, very. Okay, now let's move on to the second story. Okay, let's start. It was a forest ranger that had called it in. She had been found at the edge of an isolated campsite in the well-known national forest. The campers, horrified, called 911 when they saw my sister emerge from the forest on all fours, caked in dirt and blood. She was so starved and deformed that the campers told 911 that an emaciated bear was tearing apart their cooler and fisting handfuls of raw meat. The forest ranger who found her was from the same small town as us of Grovefield, California, about 26 miles outside of Yosemite National Park. He recognized, under all that dirt and grime, the orange guest shirt from the story of the girl who went missing in his graduating class. That's when he called my parents. I wasn't with them when they got the call from the local hospital that the forest ranger had immediately transported my sister to. I was nearby at Community Business College. It had been my 21st birthday last night, and I had woken up with a monstrous hangover. My bed was strewn with bottles of Everclear and Malibu, and a thin layer of fine powder of something covered my nightstand. I immediately downed a Xanax, chasing it with a black cherry White Claw. Nice. Party on full blast. Okay. The only time I had left my apartment all day was when DoorDash dropped off my McDonald's meal, my McDonald's meal of shame, and I had to meet them at my building's gate. They found your sister. My mother was incoherent on the phone. I could barely hear her over her hysterical sobbing. She's at Tuolumne General Hospital. You need to come immediately. We'll pay for an Uber. I felt my body go cold. That's not possible, I whispered. It's been 15 years since she disappeared. That's not her. It's her. She was hysterically crying. They did a DNA test. It's her. She's alive. There was a reporter waiting outside the hospital as I pulled up. The forest ranger had let it slip to his girlfriend that distress call had he answered. Sorry. The forest ranger had it slip had let it slip to his girlfriend that the distress call he answered was from Paula Richard was for Paula Richards, the girl that went missing in their high school class, and the news had gotten out. Grovefield was small, with a population of only 1,000 people, and it was a one-stoplight kind of town, with the police station on one end and the forest on the other. Everybody knew everybody. They were my school teachers, nurses, babysitters, the local candy shop owners. And as with any small town, they protected their own and kept everybody else out. Grovefield keeps its business close, and its people even closer, as my grandfather used to say. So when my sister disappeared 15 years ago, Grovefield kept the news quiet. Only one lone reporter from the nearby town of Jamestown caught wind of what was happening and snuck into Grovefield for the story. This is what he reported. 15 years ago, almost to the day, Paula Richards disappeared without a trace during a hike with her parents and sister. She was beautiful, beloved, and a rising star in the high school track star. In the high school track star with D2 universities competing to sign her. It was her spring break, and she was on a week-long camping trip with her parents and younger sister in the nearby Yosemite National Park. Her parents were avid outdoorsmen, as they had backpacked and camped all over the majority of US national parks, and had instilled that same preparedness and love for the wilderness into 15-year-old Paula. On the day of her disappearance, it was a Monday morning and they were hiking to Glacier Point, using the Taft Point and the Fissures Trail. The trail they had chosen was mostly flat. It was a 2-mile-long hike through the wildflower-filled meadows, before dipping through the occasional patch of thick woods and leading to the south rim of Yosemite Valley. Paula and her parents could handle it no problem, but Amy, Paula's 6-year-old sister, kept wanting to turn back." End quote. In hindsight, this trail was probably too difficult for a 6-year-old, especially since, according to the police reports, her parents had reportedly claimed that, quote, "Amy slept poorly the night before, crying that she could hear something crawling outside her tent," end quote. According to the parents, about 20 minutes in, Amy started sobbing hysterically, like full-on frenzied scream, dug her heels into the dirt, and refused to step an inch further into the forest. At this point, Paula and her family were standing in a low, wildflower-filled valley, right at the edge of a patch of dense forest. That's when Paula volunteered to take her back. Her parents agreed. Paula clipped Amy's leash to her own backpack and turned to walk back. Their campsite was less than a mile away. Her parents felt confident, assured that Paula, who had been thoroughly coached in wilderness survival and first aid, could handle that sort of walk back. Paula was last seen wearing a bright orange Guess long-sleeved t-shirt, something she had deliberately worn since it was visible from miles away. 8 minutes later, they heard Paula scream. Gone. Vanished. With only her sobbing, incoherent, hysterical younger sister left to tell her parents what had happened. End quote. As I pulled up to the entrance, the reporters spotted me. and he descended like flies to a dead body. Miss Richards! Amy Richards! Have you seen your sister yet? How is she? Is she talking? Can she tell us what happened? His camera bulbs popped and flashed, blinding me, and I was momentarily disoriented. Suddenly, I felt a firm grip on my arm. Move, you fucking asshole! I was yanked, unceremoniously, from the Uber and away from the horrendous reporter. You okay, hon? That goddamn guy have been out there all day, hassling anybody going in or out. It was my dad's friend Ron, an EMT at this hospital. Hey, Ron. I'm okay, I shrugged. After all, it's not like this is my first time. He eyed me carefully. Right. So, I guess, is it really her? I mustered a grin. Apparently so. According to the DNA test my parents had done immediately. I think Tom, the family lawyer, is checking again, though. How? After 15 years? He trailed off, noticing the look on my face. Hey, are you sure you're doing okay? I faked a light-hearted chuckle. Thank you for caring, but don't worry about me. Doing my best to keep mental breakdowns to a minimum. Speaking of which, where is she? Room 82, 3rd floor. He hesitated. Amy. Yes? Please be careful. My face felt tight as I forced a grin. Don't worry, Ronnie. I pointed to the silver locket from my childhood around my neck. I've got my lucky charm right here. Well, it certainly looked like her. But like a gaunt, emaciated, withered version of what I had always imagined my sister would look like. It hurt to look at her. Her blue eyes dulled, sunk low in her sockets. Her cheeks were painfully sunken too, giving her the overall look of a walking, breathing skeleton. Her skin was ashy, and from what I could see, covered in open sores. Her beautiful blonde ringlets from my memory were gone. Her hair was horribly thinned, with only a light fringe left on her crown. I pushed past my parents and through the crowd of nurses and specialists. My stomach twisted and churned from anxiety. Fuck, she was awake. Hey, big sissy, I said slowly, using my old nickname for her. Do you remember me? It's been a while. She didn't look like how I remembered. Instead of the bright, beautiful older sister, a broken shell had returned to us. She also smelled horrible, pungent, rangy, and ripe. Like a dead body that's been left to rot in the sun. Ew, I'm sorry, ew. I brought you something. I pulled it from my pocket. It was a bag of Hershey's Kisses. Remember how much you used to like these? I fought back tears. She was staring up at me, unblinkingly. Every few seconds or so, her right eye would twitch. Without breaking eye contact, she slowly reached for it. My heart twisted. She was missing all her fingernails on her right hand. Amy Richards? I whipped around. Yeah? It was her doctor. Could you please step outside for a moment? He held a clipboard for me. If you're going to be visiting, I need you to sign these forms. Visiting hours was written in bold on the first page. "What's this?" I asked. Dr. Jenkins pointed at Paula. "It's for her. Her visiting hours are going to be limited. After spending 15 years away from civilization, her natural immune system would be overwhelmed by even the most basic viral infection. Plus, we will be starting treatment for her leukemia soon and..." "Wait, leukemia?" I gasped. "She has cancer?" Dr. Jenkins paused and glanced first to his colleagues. Dr. J was a family friend. He had been both my and Paula's primary doctor for years, and my parents loved him. "Stage 1 or 2, he said, in hushed tones. "We're not sure, but still very treatable. Although in her condition, recovery is going to be tough." I glanced over. Paula was still staring at me. I pulled out my pill bottle and popped another little white bar. "Doc, what happened to her?" I felt my heart tearing apart in two. "She looks like she's decaying." Dr. Jenkins watched me swallow the pill, but said nothing. He looked pensive, worried. "Amy, she's severely malnourished. Whatever she was eating out there, it wasn't enough. She's severely dehydrated too. We suspect she has severe anemia, but won't know for certain until more tests come back." "That's it? Just severe anemia?" "There's also evidence of a significant brain injury here at the base of her skull." He pointed to the back of his head. "It's healed now, but at some point she sustained a deep, blunt force injury." He sighed. "We think that's why she didn't find her way out. The concussion she sustained would have scrambled her sense of direction. That, plus the terrible winters and the lack of nutrients. It affects more than just the body. It affects the mind too." I glanced over at her. Paula was still watching me through the little glass window in her hospital room. The baby hairs on the back of my neck were tingling. "You're saying she went crazy?" "What I'm saying is..." He sighed again. "Well, we can only imagine what happened to her out there." After a week in the hospital, my parents wanted her home. It was like they were afraid she would disappear again. The doctors fought against it, of course. Said her health was extremely fragile and needed constant round-the-clock care. My parents, willing to compromise but unwilling to back down completely, hired a live-in nurse to keep track of Paula's treatment. Because Paula was still pretty bedridden, the nurse gave Paula a bell to ding when she needed assistance. Paula's room was right next to mine, and I could hear the bell ringing at all hours of the night. It was making me reconsider my decision to stay for the next couple months. Paula's room was exactly the same as it was 15 years ago. Pink walls covered in NSYNC posters. Bow Wow and Backstreet Boys. Haha, what a music connoisseur. I have to say, the 90s and 2000s. Okay, anyway. So the walls were covered in NSYNC posters, Bow Wow, and Backstreet Boys, and a signed poster of her all-time hero, Michael Jordan. An enormous corkboard filled with ribbons and Polaroid pictures with her teammates was hung over the desk. Big, white beanbags lay stacked in a corner, and there were piles of CDs scattered in a semi-circle around them. My parents had preserved her room, like a butterfly in amber, so that everything was exactly how she left. It's like they were waiting for her to come home. It's why we never moved from our childhood home in Grovefield too. Even when things became unbearable, when the small town scrutiny became too much, my parents still refused to let go. It was incredibly eerie. About a week after my parents took my sister home from the hospital, I was coming home from the local library when I walked in to see police in my living room. When my sister disappeared, her story rocked our town. She was a beloved, brilliant, and talented teenager who babysat for all the new mothers and helped organize church picnics and book clubs. And she had gone missing in broad daylight. The sole witness and absolute last person to see her alive was her hysterical, inconsolable younger sister, who unfortunately couldn't remember a thing. The police suspected my dad at first. They hauled him in, despite the fact he had a solid alibi and was clearly beside himself over her disappearance. The town branded him a killer, that he was running a sex slave ring in the wilderness and was feeding the girls to a cannibal cult. What? Okay, wow. Man, that's an elaborate story. But we know from another story that I covered from Ashland that that's not exactly like too crazy, because people can swallow up pretty much any story. Anyway, let's get back to the story. Okay, so the police eventually had to release a statement admitting their fault in suspecting him, but the rumors continued to spread. After all, the truth isn't what people care about. What did the cops want? My mom had her head buried in her arms, and my dad was pacing around the kitchen. They want to know what we know, my father said, sitting down at the table. And if we had any more information. What did you tell them? I asked pensively. That she's back home. That she somehow got confused and lost out there, and then survived 15 years on her own despite all our efforts to find her, only to make it back to the same place she originally disappeared from. And that the young forest ranger recognized her from high school. But he shook his head. Fuck, I think we should do an interview. We say our piece. We give them the headline. And then the town will calm down. He looked haggard. We can't let it escalate like last time. We have to control the narrative. Set the record straight. I snorted. Dad, it's been 15 years. I'm pretty sure there's no record anymore. Plus, I continued, my voice breaking. What's the story going to be about? That we brought this stranger home? She barely eats. She doesn't sleep, I said, sick to my stomach. I haven't seen her sleep once. And she doesn't even speak to us, not one word. My mother's sobs punctured the tension in like gunshots. Don't call her a stranger. She hiccuped loudly and took another swing from the bottle she was holding. We have been given a second chance from God to be whole again. The last 15 years. Snot and tears streaked across her flushed face. Our angel has come back to us. We are fixing our broken family. If only she hadn't... Also, mind you, tell me which child is your favorite without telling me which child is your favorite. Kind of moment. A painfully familiar, overwhelming sense of frustration suddenly boiled hot in my stomach. If only what, Mother? I bitterly said. If only I hadn't made her turn back with me? I watched as she desperately avoided eye contact. Is that what you were going to say? She opened her mouth to retort, sorry, but the damage was done. I knocked the whiskey bottle that had become a permanent fixture in her hands for the last 15 years and stormed upstairs. Suddenly, I heard a gentle knock at my door. It had been a few hours since I had stormed upstairs, and I half expected my dad to storm up after me, but nothing. Go away, I moaned. I heard shuffling outside, like someone was dragging their feet. My ears perked up, and I felt my skin start to crawl. Hello? Who is it? For a second I thought it was Amelia, the nurse we had hired. But no. She actually had the night off tonight. Again, another gentle knock. Hello? I said again, this time louder. Ring. My heart leapt into my throat. Without further ado, I jumped up off the bed, strode over to my door, and whipped it open. Nothing. I looked down. Suddenly, a wave of bile threatened to rise from my stomach. In the carpet right outside my door lay a small, crushed wildflower. I knew what everyone thought. That it was my fault my sister disappeared. That I was hiding something because I couldn't tell the cops what I had seen. That I was lying when I said I didn't know what happened. But the truth is, it wasn't that I couldn't tell the cops. It was that I had already tried, and they didn't believe me. When my parents heard Paula scream, they came sprinting back, but it was already too late. Paula was gone, and I was curled up in the hollow of a tree with a yellow backpack lash wrapped around my throat. Sorry, leash. The leash was blood-stained and torn, and caught deep in the threads of the nylon. Caught deep in the threads of the nylon were 5 fresh fingernails, torn at the root. DNA testing later determined that they were Paula's fingernails. I don't remember much from that day, but when my parents would reluctantly recount the story for me, they would say I kept saying one thing over and over. It was a deer monster, Mama. A deer monster took Paula. My parents took me to therapy about a month after her disappearance. My mother didn't believe in therapy, saying it was against God and the church. But seeing how depressed and withdrawn I had gotten, she agreed to give it a chance. My mother refused to let me see anybody local. She was afraid of what I would say and what would spread around the town. So the police had to bring in someone from 3 towns away. Our sessions lasted only 15 minutes, and my mother never took me back again. Our session lasted only 15 minutes, and my mother never took me back again. I had been sitting there, drawing, when the therapist walked in. The police and my parents were watching through the two-way mirror. I only remember that the room was cold and white, and that the crayons had been the brightest thing in that room. They told me to draw what I saw that day. And I did. There was a small stick figure for me, a big stick figure for Paula, and something else too. A towering figure with deep red eyes and horns that stood so close to Paula they were practically touching. In fact, I had drawn them holding hands. It took up almost the entire page. "Hi, Amy," the therapist said, her bright tone trying to hide the level of concern that was bleeding through. What is this?" "The devil took Paula," I said simply. "That's what I saw." My mother, beside herself, pulled me from therapy. I was given a prescription for duloxetine, and Xanax instead. I was only 6 years old, so of course I had a hard time adjusting to the medication. Maybe that's why I was awake that particular night. It was a couple of days after the fateful therapy session, and I found myself suddenly wide awake at 3 in the morning. There was a full moon. I looked outside. There was a girl standing at the back fence. It was dark, but in the light of the full moon, I could see her bright orange, long-sleeved guest shirt. It was as if she felt me looking at her. Her head snapped towards me, moving at a shockingly fast speed. She waved. I stood there, frozen, unable to wave back. She waved again. Then, slowly, she pointed to the fence. It was as if she wanted me to come unlock it. I didn't move. I shook my head again, harder. I remember her watching me for a minute, for 5 minutes, then for what felt like an hour. Then, slowly, she turned around and walked away. Her head rolled loosely on her neck, flopping around, as if it couldn't stay upright. It had been almost 6 hours since I stormed upstairs, but I hadn't yet left my room. I thought about it, considered running for the door. I thought about texting my only friend, my dealer, and telling him to come pick me up. But every time I chickened out. Ring, shuffle. Ring, shuffle. Later. I'd run later. But right now, I could hear her pacing right outside my door. And that is the end of the story. So, what do you guys think? Is this a true or a fake story? That was a creepy one. And it was a long story, but it's pretty good. Like, I love this story. But it definitely gave me chills, definitely gave me full body chills. Oh my lord. Okay, so, what do you think? Wait, what does she mean by dealer? Because Amy, I guess Amy over the years, like, she got addicted to drugs. Sounds like someone is on a very trippy trip. Fake. Real, I think. That was creepy as fuck. It was. Sounds fake, but pretty real. So it could be real, could be fake. It's freaking creepy, that's for sure. True final answer. Yep, really, really creepy. Damn. Fake, but good writing. I know, right? Like, it's great. Fake. Okay, so let's see. This sounds like something out of the Missing 411. Oh, yeah. I mean, definitely, I can see it be. Yeah, like, I can see why. Dear ladies are always creepy. Real, but he is high. Very fake, very well written. Okay, let's see. It's not a creepypasta, but it was a story submitted to Reddit, and it was a story. When I was 6 years old, my sister disappeared during a hike on a family camping trip in Yosemite. And this is from Reddit No Sleep, which apparently is compiles real life experiences. So you can only, I mean, it's never stated, but this subreddit is supposed to be true stories, so I guess it could be a true story. Do you guys think it's a skinwalker? Also, the story was submitted by a username called Agony Blue. So all credits goes to them, goes to Agony Blue. That name. 71% said fake. Yeah, so, you know, we might never know. Apparently, the No Sleep subreddit is supposed to be, as I said, experiences, true life, like real life stories, but it's pretty well written. I personally think it could be real. It could be real. Like it's weird. It's definitely creepy. Maybe it was exaggerated, but it could be real. Like, you know, someone coming back from being missing for 15 years from the wilderness will definitely not behave like a normal person. But holy shit. Or Wendigo, yeah, or Wendigo. That's true. I've read about Wendigos, so that could be a Skinwalkers, could be a Wendigo too. That just pretends to be, you know, like just takes over a body, or like pretends to be someone else, just takes shape. Damn. I was thinking it could be a Wendigo or a Skinwalker. Yeah, like either of those. He must have been. Oh, you mean the Amy? Yeah, like I mean, maybe like it's in the story, it is indicated that she started taking drugs. Sona, I just came back from work. I missed an hour of your stream, but I will watch it again after the stream ends. No worries, Kevin. Hey, just take it easy, you know, rest after work, and then you can rewatch it if you want to. Okay, so that is it. This was the second story, and that's the last story for today. I hope you guys liked it. Let me switch back to the chat. Okay, so that was a fun story. Let me just hide this for now. Well, those were some fun stories. Obviously, all credit goes to the authors. I included the credits in the description of this video. So if you guys want to go back to this story, just reread it, you can definitely go on Reddit and find it. Yeah, like the link is posted in the description too. And thank you, Sona, you are so kind. Don't worry, like just, you know, take it easy, get some rest, and then, you know, and then you can rewatch it, then you can listen to the stories, and yeah, and do something that you enjoy. Thank you for the stream, Sona, no problem. I enjoyed it. It's been a while for me to read the Full Body Chill stream. I did receive one story that's very, very long, and it's in the end, it would have to be divided for like into a couple of streams, and I didn't. I think it would take away from that story. So actually, unfortunately, like I will not be reading that one out. Like it's unfortunate, but the story is really, really good. Like it's pretty long. It's a spooky one. But I emailed the author to, you know, like let them know, hey, you can post it on Reddit. People will love it. Like even if you post it in parts or like on Creepypasta. Definitely something interesting. I just think that it would really, like if I divided it by streams, it would really take away from the story. So yeah. But yeah, if you want to share your scary story, you can send it to my email, which is fearsonaofficial@gmail.com. Just please maybe make sure that the story is I don't know, like 1 page A4, 2 pages A4 max. Because, you know, obviously I don't want to have to like divide the story, and I do want to include more than one story in one stream. So, you know, it's obviously like I don't want to like ruin your story. I don't want to like split it into multiple parts because it would be confusing. But yeah, that was really well done, honestly. You can really set the tone well, Sona. Thank you. Obviously all credits go to like writing, excellent writing. So thank you so much for those stories. They were really well written. I was trying my best. I do, you know, like mess up here and there, but hopefully you guys enjoyed the stream. Okay, and again, tomorrow I will be playing Phasmo with Rose and with Bread, and then on Saturday we will discuss a true crime story on Patreon, which is somewhat related. I'm gonna post about it today, but the hint is Hello Kitty, and that's a crazy one, so you can expect a lot. Okay, and then Sunday, as usual, it's gonna be true crime here on YouTube, true crime stream here on YouTube. And this week we have Louisiana, we have the X-Men of New Orleans. I am excited. I don't know why I've been waiting for this case. Everyone's just, last stream I mentioned it, everyone was just like, wow, you're really excited about this case. Yes, I am, because I've been waiting for this so much. Okay, again, thank you so much for watching. Just a reminder, yeah, if you want to support my channel, here's you know, a special limited time offer. The link is in the description down below to my Patreon stream, Patreon page, not stream. And yeah, you get access to quite a few true crime streams. So I, you know, encourage you, if you are in the position financially. Obviously, I am not trying to like extort your money. No. Like, if you are not in the position, please do not subscribe. It's okay if you just watch on YouTube. Those streams are here for free, and you know, like, it's already great support. Okay, so that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe out there. Always lock your doors and windows. Beware of skinwalkers and wendigos. And yeah, until the next time, farewell, fearlings. Bye.